Welcome to another royal episode of the Mindful Selling Podcast. Where today we are honored to host an absolute titan in the world of sales. When your title includes king, you don't just play the game, you dominate it. With 40 plus years of hardcore face to face, hand to hand selling experience, Jeffrey has authored 17 iconic books, including The Little Red Book of Selling, and revolutionized the sales training for big industry giants like Coca-Cola, IBM, and BMW. This isn't just another guest, people. This is sales royalty in the flesh. It is an honor and privilege to introduce none other than the sales king himself. Please welcome your grace, Jeffrey Gitomer. How does a person do an effective closing in today's world?
It's not the close, it's the open.
Let's start. Basically, you have highlighted the emotional component in your sales a lot. I would like to start with the question like, what are the top strategies for making the customers feel comfortable before a sales pitch?
Well, obviously, you have to be able to develop some kind of human interaction with the other person and make them feel good. What I
Yeah.
do is I ask people where they grew up. Where are
Okay.
you from? Not where are you from, where did you grow up? Because that creates a mind of where their house was, who their family was, and I also know the city. And that will tell me if I have something in common with them to start a conversation. And if not, I'm going to ask them something deeper about their career or their situation or their circumstance. I just want to create friendly dialogue. I don't want to make a sales presentation. I just want to create a friendly dialogue. And when I have that friendship and I see them smile and we talk back and forth, then I may be able to begin. But I'm going to wait for a smile or I'm not going to start.
Okay. All right.
And
Okay.
you may think that I'm going to share with you. I learned that lesson a long time ago. I was in Paris staying at the Grand Hotel, and it's a beautiful place. And I was friends with one of the managerial kids in training, and a customer was complaining. And he said, "Excuse me, I have to go talk to this customer." I said, "Fine." In a half an hour, he returned. I said, "What took so long?" He said, "Oh, I never leave a conversation with a customer until I see them smile." Brilliant thought. And I carried that with me literally forever. Okay, so now I have the attention of the other person. I've seen them smile. I'm going to ask a question rather than make a statement, and I'm going to ask a question about them, not about me. So I'm not going to say, "Well, have you ever heard of me? What do you know about me?" That's not a question I'm going to ask. What I'm going to ask is, for you particularly, when I say AI, what one word comes to mind?
ChatGPT.
Interesting, right? I'm going to engage you intellectually immediately. That's the whole key. If I
I'm
can
getting
engage you intellectually, then I've got you, and somewhat emotionally, because AI is a pretty emotional thing. Most people don't know what it is or how to get it. They have no concept of the process. And my job is to make you think and make you better. That's my big job. So let me throw something at you. Let me get this. Okay. In the chat, I'm going to put a link for a free 3-day trial of my AI.
All
I have
right.
a proprietary platform. You can use it for 3 days and go have fun.
Thank
Cool?
you so much. My
And
audience is gonna
you can share
absolutely
with
love it.
anybody else. You can share with anybody else. They just have to sign. There's no credit card, no nothing. You just use my AI where you can ask me anything. Because all of my stuff is in one place now. All my intellectual property is in one place.
So we'll be talking with AI Jeffrey.
You'll be talking with AI Jeffrey, and you won't know it. You'll hear my voice, and if you want to talk to me in Hindu or Hindi, you can do that too.
Really, like, do you speak Hindi?
No, but AI
No.
does.
Oh yeah.
So you can ask the question in any language.
No, I was wondering if you were having another language
No,
like Hindi.
I can speak a little French. I can speak a little German. That's about it.
Oi, okay. That's all French I know. But anyways.
Got it. So tell me what the sign behind your head means.
Oh, okay. The world is full of infinite opportunities, and you need to get out of your comfort zone to
Cool.
grab it.
Cool. Most people are in their comfort zone. And somebody asked me the other day, and you may have heard this question: will AI replace me?
Yeah, I've
Will
heard it.
AI replace salespeople? I'm going to give you the answer. I want you to share it all over the world. Okay.
Yeah.
AI will not replace you, but
Okay.
salespeople who use AI will replace salespeople who don't use AI.
Well said.
And
Absolutely well.
that's the truth. So
Yes.
I've just given you this link. I want you to use it and enjoy it with my compliments.
Definitely, definitely. All our audience is going to be loving it.
Cool.
Moving on to the next question, Jeffrey. It's like we have just got you for very little time, but I have so many things to ask you
Sure.
because 4 decades of questions, and I don't think I'm going to leave you so soon.
All right.
Anyways, moving on to the next question. What are the most effective techniques you have figured out for gaining trust and building rapport before presenting the logical reasons to buy? Because see, as you said that you have to set an emotional tone. I have watched a lot of your videos, and in that you always say that before you emotionally set your tone, do not process and put logical questions in front of them, because they are going to be absolutely bored with you.
Yeah, I agree with that. The only way that you can gain trust is to earn it, and you can't gain it by saying trust me. But if you have a social presence online, and your social presence is deep on LinkedIn or on Instagram or TikTok, wherever you are, that will allow the person to feel better about doing business with you. It may not get them to trust, but that's one element of moving forward. Then the next is a conversation. Then the next may be something cool, like you may give someone a referral instead of asking for a referral. That will help build the trust. Anything you can do that's good at and from your soul, not from your head, from your soul, will help
Okay.
gain trust.
All right. Okay. Moving on to the next question.
Okay.
Now, uh, I have heard that you say that cold calls are like they're like band-aids, and
Yeah.
you're not a big fan of cold calls. So, in today's digital age, what's your take on cold calls, and how can salespeople improve their approach in cold calling?
Young salespeople should cold call. It's a lousy place to make a sale, but it's a great place to learn how to sell. And so your job is to try to engage somebody, try to get to a decision maker. Even if you screw it up, it's no big deal. However, it's much better to develop a social presence in an area where you feel like you have an expertise. I like to refer to it as a zone of genius. So if you're selling insurance, but you're really good at it, if you're selling cars, but you're really good at it, if you're selling building supplies, but you're really good at it, then you begin to post on groups in LinkedIn where you can gain some attention. And if you want to know 5 ways not to do this, or the best way to do that, or the best place to go, click here and have that to where you get interaction with people. And that will give you an opportunity to see who your fans are. Those people you can call, and it's not really cold. And if you do it long enough, you'll actually get people to call you.
Fingers crossed. All right. Okay. Then in today's world, value plays a huge part. Providing value, adding value, giving value, gaining value, earning value, a lot of things in value. So when I saw, some of your old videos, I actually, I browsed through it. I stalked you like anything, basically.
Thank
So
you.
okay.
But
So
let me throw something at you with value.
yeah.
It's very misunderstood,
Okay.
because what you think is value to you may not, in fact, be valuable to me, and then I don't care about it. So marketing departments create value propositions and other things which I refer to as bullshit, that don't allow you to really get a perceived value on the mind or the heart of the customer. Value must be, value has a first name, perceived. And so when I'm talking to you, if you perceive a value, like I just gave you a link to my AI for 3 days for free, that's perceived value. And when you have that and you use that, then you go, wow, Gitomer was a great guy. He gave me some stuff for nothing. He didn't know me. He didn't have to, but he did. He didn't say, give me your credit card and I'll, no, no, no. I'm not asking for any of that. I'm a genuine value provider, genuine. And then you have perceived value. And if you perceive enough value in me, then you may buy from me. There are three things that are going to make the sale. One is perceived value. The other is perceived difference. What's the difference between me and my competition? And the third is social proof. Perceived difference, perceived value, social proof. And that will get you a purchase. When you go to Amazon or wherever you go, you don't just buy the product, you look for the reviews. Is it a 5 star? Is it a 4 star? Is it a 3 star? And then I'm going to, I always look at the 1 star, always, just to see why, well, you know what, how'd they piss people off enough to get a 1 star? And so that's the challenge, that's the ideal way of creating something where you can build a relationship. Value is the key.
All right. Okay. You always go for the 1 star. I didn't realize it, but wow.
Yeah, but I don't
But
use
if
added value because added value means it perceives or you presuppose that you've already purchased. I'm value first. I'm value in advance.
moving on to the next part.
Okay.
Now, uh, see, follow up is something not everyone is fond of. So, when people say, I want to think it over, I'll get back to you, uh, you know, I think right now is not a good time for it. So, how can a salesperson effectively schedule a follow up without being pushy?
Okay. With any kind of objection, budget, think about it, whatever it is, I'm going to give you whatever time you need. All I'd like to do is set a firm appointment for the next visit. And that way, I've let them off the hook. I've given them an opportunity to book an appointment with me, and I'll take the booking. Once I have the booking down, I can say, can you share with me some of the things you want to think about so that when I'm on my next call with you, I'll be ready to talk to you. Oh, but this is something very important. Let's talk about, I've given you a proposal, and now it's time for me to, quote, follow up. I don't want you to follow up. I want you to follow through, because follow through means that I'm assuming the sale is mine. I want to talk about what's going to happen after I make the sale. That's pure follow through. So when you think of the brilliance of that, you're not trying to close a sale. You're trying to create a relationship that goes beyond the sale.
Absolutely. That's where the customer loyalty hits.
Totally. Totally.
All right. Okay. So now, basically, as every sale, every pitch eventually goes for buying something. Like
Yeah.
it goes for the money, and then lots of different data or different insights from different coach. Everyone has this one question that eventually everyone is gonna go, and everyone is gonna be like, buy this, buy that. But there are specific strategies what salespeople use. So I want to understand that how would you address and manage an objection where the person is absolutely not listening. You've injected humor,
Yeah.
you made them smile,
Yeah.
and it's
The reason, hold on. This is pretty interesting. Uh, when a customer says, I'm not interested, what he's really telling you is, you're not interesting. He's giving you a report card, and you're trying to overcome an objection when in fact you sucked. It was just that simple. And so you have to put yourself in the perspective of and in the position of, okay, I am making certain that my customer is engaged with me. I'm making eye contact with him or her. If I'm showing something on my computer, I want to make sure that it's easily read, it's very visible, and they know that I'm prepared for them. One of the reasons that customers become disinterested is that you're trying to give a generic presentation rather than a specific presentation. I want to know that you have prepared for me. You're very well prepared for this.
okay.
And as a result of that, I'm paying attention. Correct? And I've already offered you things that you can use and play with. And if you need more things, I'll throw them at you as well. When I was starting out in sales, people were very kind to me and very helpful to me, and I try to give it back. I don't always, I don't have time for everything and everyone, but I try.
That's what makes you stand out. All right. Moving on to a bit of transformational insights, Jeffrey, can you share a pivotal moment where a pivotal basically training moment, yeah, with Coca-Cola or IBM, where you reshaped their sales strategies drastically?
Okay. It's not a company, it's an individual.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not going to talk to 100 people. I'm going to talk to one person to where they get it. And I'm
Yeah,
just going to
represent
say,
that
I'm
company.
going to
Yeah.
say, what have you done in the last 90 days that has made you better? And the answer for most people is not enough. And
Hmm.
so I'll break the question down even further. How much time did you spend watching television or scrolling social media versus how much time did you invest in yourself to read or learn something new? Bum 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 bum. And so I'm not saying eliminate it. I'm just saying make it equal. If you spend an hour scrolling, spend an hour reading. If you spend an
Okay.
hour watching television, spend an hour writing or connecting with customers or doing something, even volunteering in a community, but do something that betters yourself before you go out and waste your time on a bunch of empty bullshit.
Right, right. So true.
We call them rabbit holes in America. You have the same expression?
I
When a rabbit goes down his hole, it disappears. And so
no, I
you go down a rabbit hole and you're scrolling on Instagram.
Hmm. I think we would rather prefer, saying we are in the hibernating mode and the
Perfect.
procrastinating mode. Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect. But every
Okay.
country has their own idiomatic expressions.
Okay. All right. Okay. Um. Well, that's pretty relatable, I would say. But that was a different person at that
Yeah.
back time. um. Now, everyone knows that however a customer wants to buy something or wants to take something, so what are the psychological factors, okay, the psychological factors that drive the buyers to choose your product instead of your competitors, okay, and how can salespeople leverage these psychological triggers?
That's I would rather go psychological indicates that you may be manipulating. And I don't want to do that. I want to make a friend. I want to be able to talk to them. I want to be able to just sit down with them or and have a cup of coffee or something where it's social and get to like them and get them to like me. All things being equal, people want to do business with their friends. All things being not quite so equal, people still want to do business with their friends. If your product is good or not good, the internet will tell me that. The
Okay.
internet doesn't lie. Is not going to lie to me about the value of your product or the quality of your product if it's been around a long enough time. You can go search for anything: an automobile, an air conditioner, a book, a meal at a restaurant, a hotel. The internet will tell you everything, and it'll tell you that immediately. But people buy from people that they like and people that they perceive brings them value and they can trust them. Without that, you have nothing. I don't care how good your product is. If it's I can buy the product anywhere. I don't just have to buy it from you.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'm getting it. Okay. Now, let's just say that when a customer hesitates, yeah, to buy
Yeah.
because of the barriers, yeah. Just now you were telling about the psychological triggers, but there are psychological barriers that maybe I don't have enough focus on you, I don't have enough attention on you, or maybe because your product does not satisfies all my current needs, all my current aspirations, right? So um, these barriers influence the person's buying decisions a lot. You agree with it?
Yes, but you haven't. If you're having an issue with that, it means you haven't asked me the right questions. Stop
No.
blaming. Wait a second. Stop blaming the customer for what they don't do or what they do, and start reevaluating how you make your presentation and tell me that it's emotionally engaging and value driven. Emotionally engaging and value driven. And I'm waiting for the prospective customer or the customer to tell me that they understand, they like it, they ask me questions. Every time a customer asks me a question, that's a buying signal. Every time.
Okay.
It means I've engaged them. They want to talk.
But that conversation should be compelling enough for them to buy.
Exactly. Exactly. And if it's not compelling enough, it's not their fault. It's the salesperson's responsibility to become compelling.
Okay.
Like, you can't say to the customer, I know I sucked, but can you buy anyway? No, they're not going to buy.
No. All right. Okay. Okay.
I think
I
you
get
get
it.
it.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Um, Now you have seen, face to face and door to door selling techniques. Now, at that time, was there any time that you have used an unconventional sales technique,
Yeah.
which really you got
Um,
through?
I try to ask a question that brings another person into the conversation.
Okay.
So I'm going on a sales lead, and it's a cold call, and I'm selling copiers. I'm going to
Right.
go to the front desk person, and I'm going to say, "Who's in charge of the quality of your copies? Can I speak to that person? Not can I speak to the person in charge of copiers? Can I speak to the person in charge of the quality of your copies?"
Okay.
That is a question they've never been asked before, and it's going to get me in the door. I started a business when I moved to Charlotte 35 years ago, before you were born, and and I had lists of new homeowners and new building permits and new corporations. It was for sales leads, and I walked into every office in Charlotte, in Uptown Charlotte, and I say to the woman at the front desk, "I'd like to speak to the person in charge of sales leads." And they would never know who the hell it was. And the boss would always come out.
Ah, nice. Spot on.
And what
Okay.
I do is I say, "Look, I have an envelope here and it's got about 1,000 sales leads in it from new homeowners and new corporations and building permits. This is yours. I'm not going to take any of your time unless you want to buy now. But I'll be back in another day or so and we can talk about what happened." And people would love it. There was no pressure at all. And before I knew it, my business was thriving.
Wow. See, this is why I think they call you the sales king, because you have tried so many different techniques.
Yeah.
Um, Moving on.
I'm going to see my coffee cup.
Ah, that's why I was
I
wondering.
remind myself every day. Why shouldn't I?
Absolutely. Like, yes, your grace. I completely understand.
My pleasure.
Okay.
Have you been to
Um.
America?
Well, not yet.
What are you waiting for?
I'm planning this year.
They have airplanes now. You can just get on one and come over.
I've traveled a lot, but USA is not something right now that is.
It's the other end of the
Uh,
world. Yeah, it's the other end of the world. I understand. You're
I've
closer to
been.
Bali than you are to America.
It's gonna take a lot of time, but basically, I have a few things to do there, and at that time probably I'll try.
Good.
Um, yeah, yeah, okay. Uh, Moving on to the next question.
Okay.
Are there any sales techniques that have been evolved over the past 4 decades, and what trends do you think will still persist?
The only thing that's evolved over the last 50 years,
Mm-hmm.
two things. Number one, the internet. Number two, artificial intelligence. Those two elements have changed the face of selling forever because I can now buy almost anything online without ever talking to a salesperson. If I want to buy $100,000 Tesla, I can buy it online. I don't have to talk to anybody. If I want to buy a book, I don't have to go to the bookstore. I can just buy it online, and in 2 days, it's at my door. If I want to go to a restaurant, I don't have to go and wonder if the food's any good. I can check it out before I go. So the internet has changed the way people buy, and it's never going to go back to the old way, ever, ever, ever. It will only become more sophisticated. And now with artificial intelligence, there are 1,500 AI sites right now.
Right.
In 2 years, there'll be 10,000, and no one can stop it. No one can. It's like it's a steamroller and it's going downhill, and there's no brakes. It's just going to keep rolling until it hits something.
Right, right, correct.
So those two elements, and they're not something where you just say, "Oh yeah," you have to master them.
Yeah,
You have no choice unless you want to lose to somebody who does.
correct. Absolutely correct. So, learning AI is something that we all are trying to, put our
Yeah,
brains into
that's
every
why I
single
gave you
day.
the link. You
Yes,
can have
yes.
it for, you can try it out for free, and my course, by the way, my platform, there's no
Yeah.
instructions. You click, you sign up, and it immediately takes you to a place where you can start asking me questions. I even give you on the site 50 questions that you can ask me just to try it out.
Wow. That's a bit of a luxury, don't you think so?
Total luxury. Yeah, it is. But of course, the reality is I want you to subscribe. It costs
True.
money to subscribe, but I'll
And
I'll
I'm
give you
pretty
I'll give
sure
you
you're
just
gonna have diversified audience from India as well.
yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Um. Now, have you heard about every coach putting on different webinars, spending crores and lakhs of monies on ads, and with aggressive pitches with webinars becoming very common nowadays. How is this an effective strategy? Because how can this remain an authentic thing rather than feeling
It
forced?
doesn't. It doesn't. It
It does.
and the ads are very difficult to filter in and filter out. I don't advertise. I probably lose sales as a result of it, but I don't want to create a false impression. I don't want to create a false idea. And half the ads are no good. It's just you don't know which half. So you
Mhm.
click on random ads that look good to you and you go, "Oh, this is shit. I didn't realize that." And then you click and go away someplace. And so I'm looking at this from a standpoint of if I don't have to advertise, I'm not going to. But if I do advertise I'm going to probably do something with my AI platform. And I'm going to say, look, no one understands AI the way they should. And if you'd like to understand it from a sales perspective, I've got a 3-day free trial. If you'd like to click on it and take it, great. And if you don't, I totally understand. Go to the next ad. And that's how I'll do it.
And that's
No
how the
hype.
kings.
I want it to be fun, and I want to blow people away. I want them to be surprised. So I'm going to give you when I'm giving you this. I, the only thing I'm asking in return, write me a review. Just send me an email. You have all my contact. Send me an email or talk to Stacy or whatever. But let me know what you think, and then how do I make you an affiliate to where you can make a ton of money reselling this to people in India? It's a big place.
Definitely. Why not?
I mean, it's a billion people.
Yes, and billion more are coming.
Really? Oh my gosh. Well, that's cool.
All right.
That's
Okay. Um. Now the question that everyone's been craving for, and we really want a very solid answer because that's something we are expecting from you. Uh. Let's come to the closing part. Yeah. Now, how does a person do an effective closing in today's day?
okay.
We want some strategies
I'm
from
going
you.
to give you this. I'm not going to just give you an answer. I'm going to give you insight. It's not the close, it's the open. The way you open a sales presentation is going to determine your fate. Because if I like you and then I get to believe you and then I get to have confidence in you and then I get to trust you, then I may buy from you. But if I don't like you, I'm not doing anything. So it's not a technique. It's a process, human to human. I'm going to be accurate. I'm going to be truthful. I'm going to be engaging emotionally and logically. I'm going to offer things that will give you confidence, and I'm going to be very believable because I'm only going to tell the truth. If you do that, you have a shot at closing the sale. You don't need a technique. You just need language. If you just be yourself, when do you want delivery? It's easy. Closing is the easiest thing that salespeople make into the hardest thing.
True, true.
Because if you like me from the very beginning, you'll buy anything.
Okay. Well, that's something. It's a bit.
It's not the close, it's the open.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta earn it.
Totally. And you earn it with your words and your deeds and their perception of you. I perceive you're a good person. I perceive you're a jerk. Next.
Okay, all right, right. Moving on to the next question. In the landscape filled with online courses, how crucial is authenticity for the sales coaches? Because there are so many, mind coach, health coach, life coach,
I know. I
relationship
know.
coach,
Coaching.
wristwatch
Well,
coach.
here's the deal. Here's the deal with coaching.
Yeah,
Most coaches get into coaching because they love coaching, but they're lousy at selling. Think about that. Number one. And number two, I want to know that I want to perceive in my mind and heart that you can coach me. I've been going to a therapist because I like, talking to someone that has great opinions and not going to put me down. So I've been going to this one guy for about 10 years. I go every week or every other week, just talk to him for about an hour. Why do I keep going back? Because I trust him, because he's funny, because he's knowledgeable, and that's all I'm asking for. I don't need much, but I want someone who can give me an unbiased opinion.
true. All right. Now, I'm pretty sure that you might have heard about funnels, right?
Yep.
This funnel, that funnel, sales funnel. Now, from your point of view, what do you think that sales funnel can be utilized effectively?
Well, everybody starts with a big funnel at the top and has a small funnel at the bottom. I like to start with a small funnel at the top and only take on people that I think are good for me. And then I don't care how big or little it is at the bottom. I'm going to engage these people till they buy. But I
Right.
want people that are interested in me. I want people that are interested in becoming better. I want people that have invested in themselves. That's the whole deal.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. Moving on to the last question of the
Yes.
part. Yeah.
Yes.
Uh, okay. Now, this is something that is my personal favorite because I love having a person who has very high EQ, not just an IQ. Yeah.
Yep. I agree.
How can salespeople blend emotional intelligence with logical reasoning to close deals without appearing manipulative or overly aggressive?
Okay. First, let's define this. People purchase emotionally and then justify logically. I love that car. What are the payments? I love this house. How much is it? No one asks how much is it and then loves it. They love it first and then they ask how much it is. And then they decide if they can afford it or not. And that's why we have payment plans and all kinds of other things to make it perceived to be affordable. But if I want it bad enough, if you are going to go to a big party and you're going to buy a dress for the party and you have a $200 budget for the party for the dress, and you go to the department store and you see a dress and it costs $300, but you love that dress, what are you going to do? You're going to buy
Love
the dress for 300, right? Exactly. Everyone does. Everyone does. So you have to, as a salesperson, you have to know that the person is willing to go over their budget for something that they perceive is better than what they are hoping for, that the value is genuinely there. People are going to love me in this dress. People are going to say, oh my goodness. People are going to just absolutely go crazy. So I'm going to buy it. But if it's, even if it's on sale, I'm not going to buy it. So think about it that way. Think about it as these are your shoes. This is your dress. Would I buy this? That's the EQ involved. I have an emotion. I want, my kid wants to play baseball after school. It costs $100. Mom, please, I want to play. Okay. And so you look, you were probably better selling when you were 5 years old than you are now, because you could get your way from your parents 100% of the time. But this is the challenge. As a salesperson, you must create the environment of emotion way before you ever try to close a sale. If you don't, you're not going to make it happen. And your EQ is what's going to determine not how good you are emotionally, but how good are you transferring your emotion? How can you make that emotion appear in the other person to where they go, wow, I love this.
All right. Thank you so much,
My pleasure.
Jeffrey.
My
Uh,
pleasure.
yeah, guys, you can check out Jeffrey's website here. You can get 3 days of browsing into his Gitomer.ai sales website,
Yep.
and you can find him on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook,
I'm
and his
everywhere.
own, yeah,
Yeah.
YouTube channel, his own sales blog. All the links will be put down. Please check it out. Jeffrey, any last words of advice?
Yes. Stay away from idiots.
Absolutely. All right, guys, thank you so much, and peace out.
It's my pleasure.